Welcome to Cape Breton Movers and Shakers, where we have conversations with people who are doing positive things here in Cape Breton. I'm Richard Lorway, president of goCapeBreton.com. And today I'm speaking with Holly Chisholm and Todd Mercer from the new Cape Breton Capital Group. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Richard. Thanks for having us.
Oh, no problem. I'm excited by this, and I have lots of questions. But let's start with, what is the Cape Breton Capital Group?
Yeah, so the Cape Breton Capital Group is a group of like-minded individuals who have come together to invest through a fund. And the investment thesis that they're focused on is very specific geographically to Cape Breton, with sort of a broad range of sectors that we're looking at right now. So from the startup community right into more traditional businesses with a focus on succession planning.
Right. So where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so there was a small group of people that ended up being involved in the fund. We were getting together monthly and having breakfast and just talking about what was going on in the community. And we realized that there's a lot of companies that are early on and starting off, and we wanted to find a way to make them stay here, hire people here, grow here, expand here in Cape Breton. And, the group decided that the best way to do that would be to connect these people with a large number of local entrepreneurs and investors and allow them to plant their roots in the community. One of the big things that came up was, we have all these companies coming through the Assurance Center. People are moving here and relocating here. And, how can we give them a little extra nudge to grow and expand and stay here when they're done going through their program at the Assurance Center.
Right. So did you see a gap in the ecosystems of the financial ecosystem?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's, first of all, for companies especially companies that are coming from outside of the city, they definitely don't know who to reach out to locally. Of course, we have a lot of great funds in this province. And then we have government, government money available from NovaCorp and ACOA, but none of that really ties directly to Cape Breton. And so we wanted to find that way to, have more of a direct link to our region here. And, and then we could build something here that would have an identity and, and then we can partner up with a lot of these other groups that are off island.
Right. So Holly, were you involved in the beginning, or when did you become involved and how?
Yeah, so I joined the group as their manager of operations investment in January. So the group was sort of formed and well underway then. They had identified that they wanted someone to come on sort of in a full-time role to support them through due diligence and marketing and things like that, to help them deploy the fund. So that's when I joined.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. And as I'm sure everyone's aware, that there have been other venture funds in Atlantic Canada with mixed results, some successful, some not. Do you think investing locally in a community where there's local relationships, do you think it's a strategic advantage to do it that way?
It's definitely interesting. It allows you to develop a really good relationship with the founders. It allows you to, really be able to keep an eye on your investments. You're just a phone call away to go and have a coffee with any of the employees and, talk shop. And a big part of the Cape Breton Capital Group is going to be a mentorship aspect. We've got over 20 members in our group from a really wide range of backgrounds and expertise. And so one of the key advantages for us as a group is finding the people, the investors that have the proper skills to match them up with the companies based on what they need, or if they're looking for even just tips and tricks in a certain area and less formal than mentorship, they can reach out to us and we can connect them with the right people. So you're not really getting that. If you're investing off island, you don't really get to keep as close of an eye. Plus, then there's all the economical development advantages as well, which is, um, definitely a plus for investing locally and supporting local.
Right, right. So in your process of deciding to do this, did anyone ask, well, why us? Why are we doing this as opposed to some other agency? And did you identify, like, I guess it goes back to the gap question, but did you see an area in a company's life cycle where there were not investments being made?
Um, Not necessarily. I think that we're just providing another option for these companies, and the advantage when a company chooses to take our investment over someone else's, it's probably going to be a little bit more hands-on.
Right.
And like I said, you have that ability to go and have a coffee with someone and chat, and it's a lot. It's easier for people to approach us, I think, than if they needed to approach someone at the federal government or the provincial government or a big fund that's out of Halifax or Toronto or Silicon Valley. That's sort of our goal, is to be really approachable and provide a good value behind our investment as well, not just providing the financing.
Okay. And so are you looking for more investors still to get involved?
Not right now.
Okay. So you're fully funded up. Is that, so can I ask how much you've raised to start out?
So we have close to 1.5 million.
Okay. So that's a really good
Yes.
start.
Yeah,
And
so right now we have over 20 members, and we're just in the process of closing up the fund and securing the last few units. So the idea of the group is that you are incentivized to buy a unit of the fund, but then we're also giving opportunity for the members to invest further beyond what the fund does.
right,
And so that's why it's a little difficult to peg a number on what is the size of the fund, because the impact is actually going to be a lot bigger.
right,
So the idea is, if the fund is making, say, a $100,000 or $150,000 investment, once the fund makes that investment, then the individual members of the fund can approach the company and negotiate a follow-on investment if they still have room in their round, and if they're still looking for more funds.
right,
So the idea is that we get to connect these companies with a group of more than 20 investors. The fund makes their investment, and then these investors are connected and can do individual investments on top of what the fund does. And then in the future, if these companies are looking for more money, they can come back to the fund and back to the individual investors.
right. So I mean, in a way, if I was an investor, I would say it's a great way to dip my toe in the water, have somebody else do all the heavy lifting of the due diligence,
Yep,
and then decide if it's a fit for me. I can approach the owner directly and invest more money if I choose.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So the fund plans to make 7 to 8 investments with the funds that have been committed so far. And then we're hoping that through some government funding and through these follow-on investments, that the economical impact of the fund is actually going to be double or triple what was invested into the fund.
Wow, excellent. So what kinds of companies are you looking for?
Yeah, so we're looking at sort of a wide range. We sort of have two streams, I guess, that you can break them out into. So we're looking at technology startups, but not, sort of what you think of maybe a traditional tech startup. We're looking sort of like Todd was saying in the bio environmental space as well. Like there's several companies that are working out of the Assurance Center now
Right.
that are running, their R&D divisions here in Cape Breton. Um, and as well as sort of the second stream being more traditional businesses with a focus on succession planning. So we're hoping to support 1 or 2 companies through investment with maintaining a local ownership. So these are companies that, someone's built a successful business, they're looking to sell, maybe retire, and, hopefully we can help them maintain a local ownership instead of it being sold to maybe a larger corporation that would be off island.
Right. And sold as a going concern, presumably, rather than just for the assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Right. So are you, do you have a sector strategy? You mentioned like innovation, technology, but do you focus on certain sectors and avoid others? Have you thought about that? And
Yeah, I would say at the moment we're fairly open, we're fairly loose. We're really interested in seeing what's out there, in this local ecosystem. It's I think it's hard to pick a specific niche because there aren't a great number of companies,
yeah, exactly.
on Cape Breton. So it's really hard to, be picky when it comes to sector. But if you look at our investors, we have a lot of expertise we have expertise in manufacturing, we have expertise in product development, we have expertise in bio, fishing, pharma. So I can see us leaning towards, some of the expertise in the group, but we're really open to, seeing what's out there. And we're hoping that there's a few companies that come out of the woodwork, maybe companies that we haven't heard of and that we don't know, and they think that now's the time to pair up with the local community and take on a bunch of inspired local investors.
Okay. So if I'm an entrepreneur or a company owner, what's the process for engaging with you guys?
Yeah, so you can find us online. Our website is goCapeBreton.com, and you can apply directly through our website. That's the only way we're accepting applications.
Okay.
So you can just go on there, find our website. You can find my contact info there as well if you have specific questions. But the form is pretty self-explanatory. It's just basic info about your company, general, financials, what you're looking for, team size, those sort of things. And then it sort of just moves through our due diligence process and goes before our GPs, and we have discussions at that level.
Right. So will I be expected to, I'm assuming at some point I'll have to pitch?
Yes.
Yeah. To the general partners, at the board, or?
Yes, to our GPs.
Right. And how many people are going to be staring at me across the table?
There's just 5 GPs right now, so it would be a smaller group. But then companies that move on to the next level, the ones that survive the pitch with the GPs, they'll then be asked to pitch again to the limited partner advisory committee.
Right.
And all of the members, all the investors in the fund are invited to participate on the limited partner advisory committee. So when you make it to the final boss, that would be a pitch in front of 15 to 25 people.
Wow. Alrighty then. Alrighty. So for those who don't get that far, are you going to provide coaching points at the end? If I'm unsuccessful, will you come out and have a quiet word and tell me why I could have done what I can do to improve, kind of thing?
Yeah, we'll be providing feedback to companies that aren't successful, because a big part about the group is supporting local businesses. So
Right.
we really are trying to build awareness with the membership of the group of what companies are out there and what investment opportunities are out there, as well as, just supporting them. So we're definitely going to be providing feedback.
Yeah, one thing too that I think is really interesting about our fund is, as an investor in the fund, one of the values that you get out of that is that you get access to see all of the submissions that come through.
Right.
So even the companies that don't make it past the GP level and make it to the advisory committee level, all of the submissions that come through our website will get bundled up and shared in a monthly digest to our investors. So just by applying, you're getting that visibility amongst all of the investors, And if any of the individual investors are intrigued by what you are offering, they may reach out.
Excellent, excellent. So, final question, and I usually ask an open-ended question like this. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs who want to approach your group?
Yeah,
How should they prepare?
good
What
one.
should they think about?
Yeah, so the big thing for us is to, first of all, really have a good local presence. We want to see that you have, some key staff members that are located here in Cape Breton, and you have plans to grow and hire here. And the big thing that we're looking for is a unique strategy for growth, and just a solid plan for the use of the funds and how you're going to use that round of financing. And if that's an effective strategy for your growth, then we'll be happy.
Right. Super. So when are you ready to start accepting applications? I should have asked that.
Yeah, we're ready right now.
All
If you
right.
go to the website,
Excellent.
goCapeBreton.com, send in your submissions, and we'll get right to reviewing them. Really excited to see them.
Excellent. Well, listen, guys, congratulations on doing this, and many thanks. I think it's much needed. And I hope you're immensely successful for all of our sakes.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Richard.
Richard. We're really looking forward to it. I think it's the fund is really focused on economic development and helping companies around here. So if we can do that at a minimum, then it's a win.
Super. I've been speaking with Holly Chisholm and Todd Mercer from the new Cape Breton Capital Group, and we'll see you next time on Cape Breton Movers and Shakers.